Before she steps onto that pitch, is she safe? Not talented, not marketable, not strong enough. Is she safe? Welcome to the second episode of Paza Africa Women in Sports, and I am your host, Sullivan Dege. Today, we get into an uncomfortable conversation. Who is responsible when safeguarding fails? Why is silence still protecting the wrong people? And are we building champions or are we building African women athletes to just survive systems? On today's episode, I am joined by Bridgid Siantei, who is part of a new generation of African women leaders working to ensure that the sport is a safe and inclusive space for African women athletes. She has been in ecosystems that champion for accountability, gender equity, and the sustainable development across the African continent. Welcome, Bridget.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
To break the ground, Bridget, safeguarding in sports is a term we often hear, but in practical terms, what does safeguarding mean to athletes, especially women and girls in sports?
So safeguarding generally means ensuring that our sports environment is safe, inclusive, and is full of dignity and justice. That also then means that we are ensuring that the sports people, both women, girls, men, and boys, and every other person in the sports ecosystem, is free from harm, harassment, and exploitation. Just generally ensuring that we have an environment that is safe and ensures the well-being of everyone.
Across the continent, safeguarding is still treated as a secondary issue. Is it a resource issue, a mindset issue, or a cultural issue in the African continent?
Of course, safeguarding usually comes second to performance, one, because performance and sports is one thing. Safeguarding will automatically come second. Two, resources. When you have limited resources, the first priority is going to be competitions and performance. So safeguarding will always come second. Third, sometimes safeguarding is seen as a donor issue, not something that is important within the ecosystem. So that is also another reason why safeguarding is seen as a secondary.
Safe sport isn't just a policy, it is a lived reality. When you say safe sport, what does it look like on an everyday encounter?
So for me, when you say safe sport, for me, one, it will be ensuring that the fields where people are training are safe. Two, it is ensuring that we have proper reporting mechanisms, especially when you're dealing with, but also just ensuring that we have proper accountability mechanisms and even feedback mechanisms, because you need to have those open conversations. But also when you're talking about safe sport, we need to ensure that we focus on provision of post-career support for the athletes. That is what's next for them after playing.
Conversation around mental health are things we have not been able to fully embrace because we consider it Western. What is it like on the ground, and are we doing enough to ensure that people are very easy to talk about mental issues, especially African women athletes?
I think it's something that people are still struggling with, considering, yes, we've talked about limited resources. That's not a priority. The priority for us is performance. Are we winning tournaments? Are we winning medals? Are we fit? Are we disciplined? Do we have teamwork? Mental health comes last. In fact, no one even cares about the mental health of athletes. But those are conversations that I'm seeing people are having, sports federation, clubs are having, and it's a good place for us to start in terms of investing in mental health, because if they are doing well mentally, then that means they will also do well performance-wise.
Many federations have safeguarding policies. Is having a policy same as having real protection for the African women athletes? And what's the difference?
You can have the policies in paper, but nothing is being implemented. Most of these sports federations have policies, but we have safeguarding concerns day in, day out. So for me, what protection would look like is, one, ensuring that if these reports are there, they are acted upon very fast. They are acted upon very fast. But we are also setting up clear and structured and also safe and confidential reporting mechanisms, but also just creating awareness amongst athletes of their rights. Because if you've not told someone that this is a safeguarding concern, that this is going against their rights, they won't even know that that is harm happening to them. And of course, they won't go and report. And if people don't report these issues, then let's just go home. because there's nothing we are doing in the industry.
Do you think the African woman athlete is knowledgeable about the safeguarding issues?
I feel that there's a gap around creating the environment for reporting. I know my rights. That is happening to me, but will I report it? Because once I report it, then that means my slot in a team is gone. If I was to get a scholarship opportunity, that is gone, because once I've reported a safeguarding concern, that's reputational damage. Who will want to associate with you? So that means no spot in the team, no opportunities, you don't have a contract and all that. So while athletes might know that these things exist, there is that stigma around reporting it. So yes, all of us in the sports sector need to ensure that we create that environment for them to come and report.
When system fails, when safeguarding fails, who is to be held accountable? Who is to be blamed? Is it the government, federations, unions, coaches, or the sports administrators?
When you talk about who is responsible for safeguarding, it's a collective responsibility for everyone: the government, the people in the media industry, the federations, the parents, because that support systems, the peer support groups. Safeguarding is everyone's role.
Silence is common in the African sports ecosystem, especially for the African girl. Why do we say silent? Is it a power issue? Is it a cultural issue? Even with all the knowledge that is out here on safeguarding, we still have instances when we stay silent. Why is that?
I think silence when it comes to safeguarding is both a power and a cultural issue. It's a power because you see, when we're talking about safeguarding, we have power dynamics in play. A coach has the responsibility of selecting someone to be part of an assignment. So once he or she is reported, then the player is not selected for a national team assignment. So it's a power issue because first you're also challenging power systems. Federations are not used to conversations that are uncomfortable, so that's a power issue. It's also a cultural issue because growing up as girls, we are told not to challenge authority. Growing up as girls, you're not supposed to speak about anything. So it's also a cultural issue because the culture has the gender stereotype, socialization has made us normalize silence. So it's both a power and a cultural issue.
You have worked on the grassroots level, you've been across this continent. Are we raising champions, or are we just raising African women athletes to survive in these systems?
I think we are building women athletes who are just surviving, considering the sports sector is first male dominated. So how are they maneuvering? We are teaching how are they maneuvering the male dominated sector. Uh, Also, we are talking about lack of economic empowerment. They don't have contracts. You see, when you're dealing with issues of safeguarding, you look at it from a leadership angle, you look at it from an economic empowerment angle. So if they are not economically empowered, they don't have contracts, that means they are surviving. They do not have access to female role models who have made it in the rugby, in the sports sector. They are just surviving. They do not have the necessary skills. They are just surviving. So even as we focus on performance, we need to remind them that their welfare is also important. We need to equip them with skills to maneuver. We need to equip and ensure that we have safeguarding policies and a culture that is enabling them to not just survive, but but also ensure that their welfare is looked at keenly.
But governance has a silent cost to it. What does the African woman athlete had to pay due to bad governance?
You see, Sullivan, when you are talking about bad governance, then we mean first, we have no resources, we have safeguarding mechanisms that are not working. Women and girls do not have role models that they look up to. So that means what these athletes are missing out is first, their talent is going to waste because if I wasn't treated well when I reported a safeguarding mechanism, then I'll leave the sport. Once we do not have we are not economically empowered, we don't have our contracts in place, we are not conversations around gender pay gap, we are not having such conversations, then that means we do not have money.
Bridget, we have more women in the field playing, but in Africa today, 12% of the leadership positions is what African women hold. What systems do we need to dismantle and what new ones do we need to build to ensure that African women get into this space and they thrive in the leadership positions?
I think one for me would be to continued awareness creation on the importance of them being in leadership, capacity building the ones who are already there, and then just having male allies and having conversations with the male allies in the sports sector that we need support women, we need women to be in these leadership positions.
Something vital that I've picked from your conversation is women are probably getting into these spaces, but not decision making positions.
Mm.
How do we spread that gospel out there for African women athletes who are looking to get into leadership positions?
I need first for us women, we need to be really strategic. You just can't. You see, most of these positions are given to tick boxes, tokenism, and all that. So once you've been handed a position and you've not qualified by merit, they will definitely not listen to anything that you have to say. So we need to be strategic. That I want to be in a position where I can influence budgets. I want to be in a position where I can influence policies. I want to be in a position where I can I can, when people are going to talk about sponsorships, I am on that table. So just to encourage women to not pick the low lying fruits, go for those top positions, go for the chairperson of a federation, go for a secretary general of a federation, go for the treasurer position, because that will then influence how women athletes are treated in sports organization and in sports federation.
What will be your non negotiable demands, not request demands, in regards to safeguarding policy and the welfare of the African woman athletes?
I think first for me, I'll remind them that who is doing well in most of these sports? Women. The women are the ones who are doing well. So first, we need to ensure that women in the grassroots are taken care of, because we need that talent pool. Because if they are not taken, if their welfare is not taken into account, if they are not safe, their security is not taken into account, then that means we'll not have a talent pool. And then now, once we have that talent pool, I'll remind them that yes, the women are doing well, they are not getting enough visibility. So my non-negotiables would be proper visibility for women athletes, ensuring that the safeguarding policies that have been put in place are working, and ensuring that women have access to economic empowerment opportunities, education opportunities, and also leadership opportunities for women. Yeah, like the ones we've said, the proper ones where you can make decisions. So for me, that would be non-negotiable. Institutionalizing safeguarding mechanisms, ensuring that they have sponsorships, ensuring that they have visibility. Yes, and reminding them who is doing properly in terms of sports and performance in this country.
Sport is not a place where talent has to be negotiated with safety. Today, we had the privilege of sitting with Bridgid Siantei, a leader, a voice that is committed to building systems that ensures the girls are respected, empowered, and thrive in the sports ecosystem. This has been an uncomfortable but necessary conversation here at Paza Africa Women in Sports, and I am your host, Sullivan Dege. Until next time, keep building the safe spaces for girls and women. Keep rising, keep shining, keep taking up the spaces, and keep pazaing.